What's up? What's up? What's up, my Mind Your Money business folks? It's me yet again with another video on today's stock market news. And as always, hopefully you're in the market and not trying to time the market because that is simply impossible to do. So let's see what it says here today. Hopefully you guys are doing well. I am getting ready for work. And it says here the Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ rise as momentum builds for Trump trade deal tax bill. So let's get into it. So it says U.S. stocks climbed but paired early gains on Monday amid signs of progress in trade talks, setting up the major gouges for more all-time highs to end one of the most volatile first halves of the year in a recent memory. The Dow Jones Industrial Average rose roughly 0.4%. The S&P 500 moved up 0.4%, and the NASDAQ jumped 0.4%, as big tech giants like Microsoft and Meta hit intraday records. So stocks started a holiday-shortened week with fresh records in sight. Oh yeah, because Friday is 4th of July. As hopes rise that the U.S. and its top trading partners are closing in on a deal over the sweeping tariffs introduced by President Trump. Canada scrapped a digital services tax targeting U.S. tech companies late on Sunday, just hours before it was set to start collecting payments, in a bid to revive stalled trade negotiations. On Friday, Trump called an abrupt halt to the talks over the tax, describing them as a blatant attack on the U.S. Despite all of this, people continue to invest. Continue to invest. More news. Despite a temporary turn lower, all three major indexes closed higher on Friday. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ composite clinched new record highs for the first time since February, March, April, May, June. 4 months, people. The start of the year's tariff-fueled stock swings. The easing in odds of a global trade war comes as a July 9 deadline looms for the resumption of sweeping U.S. reciprocal tariffs, with Trump on Sunday said he didn't think he'd need to extend. Okay, so far his administration has hammered out only two accords, not fully blown agreements with China and the UK, with the British tariff deal going into effect on Monday. So meanwhile, market watchers are closely following Senate negotiations over Trump's proposed $4.5 trillion tax cut bill. Wow, as Republican leaders race to persuade party holdouts to back the legislation. The Congressional Budget Office estimates it would add up to $3.3 trillion to the deficit over a decade. As it stands, the Senate is set to vote on dozens of amendments in a marathon session on Monday. That's interesting. Okay, looking ahead, the June jobs report on this Thursday, will be a highlight as market increasingly grow optimistic that the Federal Reserve could lower interest rates soon. But the week's trading will be cut short as markets will close at 1 p.m. on Thursday and remain shut down on Friday for the 4th of July holiday. And that's pretty much it. You know, it's been a crazy 6 months into this year. You know, it's not crazy, but it's been a chaotic. Yeah. So let's see what some stocks did today. So Nvidia is at an all-time high, gaining 24 cents, closing out at $157.99. As always, I keep saying, well, not as always, but I hope when the market was going topsy-turvy and a lot of these stocks were at an all-time low, I hope that you guys were buying some of those stocks. I keep saying Nvidia was down to like $98, $95 or $98 at some point, and now it's up to $157.99. So yeah, FTEC, my information technology ETF, gained $2.02 today, closing out at $197.33. It's at an all-time high as well. This stock, if I'm not mistaken, had gotten down to like, this year it got down to like 150-ish, I believe, and now it's at 197.33. So had you been buying the dip, you would be making gains right now. That's why you have to be in the market and not trying to time the market. There's no specific time other than now to invest and to continue to invest depending upon your goals. What are your goals? I have a long-term goal, so that's why I'm investing into the month, dollar cost averaging into the stock market every month. Okay, hold on. There was an adjustment just made. Actually, FTC gained $1.91, closing out at $197.22. Just adjusted right in front of me. And the market's been closed now for like 16 minutes. Broadcom gained $6.30 today, closing out at $275.65. That's pretty good. My S&P 500 ETF, SPLG, gained 37 cents today, closing out at $72.69. Again, at an all-time high. The stock had gotten down to, I believe, $50-ish at some point this year. It's now up to $72. Yeah. Palantir gained $5.58 today, closing out at $136.32. Tesla's been making some losses. I keep saying I need to look into this, and I haven't. But either way, Tesla lost $6.13 today, closing out at $317.66. Microsoft gained $1.47 today, closing out at $147.91. Apple gained $4.09 today, closing out at $205.17. Amazon lost $3.91 today, closing out at $219.39. And that's, I think that's called I said Broadcom already, right? If not, Broadcom gained $6.30 today, closing out at $275.65. And that is it, people. That is it with the stock market. As always, stay out of debt, get out of personal loan debt, get out of car loan debt, get out of student loan debt, get out of credit card debt. If you are in some form of debt, you cannot get ahead because you have too many bills. That's why you need to start living below your means. But you need to get out of debt. You need to create a plan, and creating a plan is by creating a budget. You need a budget. You need to make that decision that, okay, I need to change. Now you need to write that vision out. Write that vision, make it plain, and then execute. Create that budget. Start paying off that debt. Once your debt is paid off, then create 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Then fund your kids' college fund. What else can you do? Make sure that you're investing up to 15% of your income into your retirement. Compounding interest, look it up and how it works, people. The longer you invest, the better. The sooner you start, the better. You just need to start. And then after you do that, if you have a mortgage, all that money that you've been utilizing to pay off all those bills and that debt, well, not bills, but all of that debt, that car loan debt, that student loan debt, that credit card debt, that personal loan debt. Now you can roll that and add that to your mortgage and pay your mortgage off even sooner, maybe 5 years, 7 years earlier, right? And then after you pay off all of your debt and you've got no mortgage, you do whatever you want to do. You can give away money if you want. You can do whatever you want. Continue to follow your budget. and live your best life, right? There's nothing like having control over your life and your time. There's nothing like having options. Do I want to continue to work? If it's a stressful job and if you have no debt, no bills, maybe you can take some time off and not have to worry about it. You have your emergency fund. You know, you have your just, again, it depends on your lifestyle, your age, and your situation. Everyone's situation is different, but there's nothing like having options, and there's nothing like having control over your time, because time is something that we cannot get back. We're getting older, yeah, you don't want to continue to stress into your 60s, 70s, and 80s when it comes to money, because you're still in debt, right? So the sooner you create your plan, the better. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Let me know what you think, if you think anything at all. Also, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, nor am I pretending to be one. Any and all information on my channel and in my videos are for entertainment purposes only and expresses my opinions as I read off the news from the stock market and talk about stocks. So please do your due diligence and do your own research before you invest any of your hard-earned money, or consult with a financial advisor if you're not comfortable with investing on your own. All right, so you guys take care. Have a blessed day. Peace.